Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of Aliens vs. Predator Rift War, drop something there, by Weston Oakes, at least I'm assuming it's a German name, and Yvonne Navarro. This is a sci-fi horror from 2022. It just came out like a couple weeks ago from Titan Books. I guess I pre-ordered both this and Alien Inferno's Fall at the same time back in like January because I was like, oh, I ordered another one? Okay. Now I have to show you because this is not the best setup for this shirt, but look, I've got my Alien, oh my god, I've got my Alien shirt on. Isn't it cute? Anyway, I have limited time to do this review because clearly I'm going to be killed. So, there are many Alien books. I've read a few of them. There are Predator books, of which I've read many, except for my Moby Dick, which is Predator South China Sea by Jeff Vandermeer that I can't find anywhere. So if anyone has a copy or an e-copy, a PDF, please let me know. I'm dying to read it. And then we have a few AVP books. This, Rift War, being the first novel-length one since Tim Lebbon's 2016 Armageddon, which I have here. It's part of this series, Incursion, Invasion, and then we have Armageddon, which is like, so, yeah. Rift War seems to take place on its own trajectory, or perhaps before Lebbon's trilogy chronologically. It builds on the concept we're introduced to in AVP the movie, that the predators, called the Yautja, seed planets with alien eggs, ovomorphs, so they can then hunt the xenomorphs that emerge. I am such a huge fan of all the variations of Alien and Predator and Alien vs. Predator that it's shocking I don't have a tattoo yet of it. Though I have an idea for one. We'll see. So for fun, at the end of the review, I've included a ranking of all the movies in the interrelated series. So if you're interested in that as well, please check that out at the end. Yeah. So back to the book. First of all, there are no spoilers in this review. Secondly, Rift War is an exciting, fun, and entertaining addition to the AVP franchise. And, well, I freaking loved it. It was so much fun. I read it in like 2 days, and it's not small. So what is it about? The planet LV-363 is scarred with deep rifts as if torn by gargantuan claws. It teems with exotic life, much of it lethal, including a plant that grows in the shadows. The plant's flower yields an addictive narcotic for which people will pay any price. Criminal cartels, the worst of humanity, force desperate workers to harvest it. When a predator ship arrives to prepare for a hunting ritual, its occupant seeds the rifts with xenomorph eggs. The aliens emerge, attack indigenous fauna, and produce bizarre and deadly hybrids. These ravenous creatures, some of which can fly, swarm out of control. A second ship lands, carrying young predators who must prove their skills by hunting the xenomorphs. What they find, however, may prove more than they can handle. A bloody conflict ensues, a rift war, with the humans caught in the middle. So yeah, clearly it's awesome. Of course, what I loved, first of all, about this book, that it doesn't tell you in the back, but it's not a spoiler, is that we finally get a goddamn female Yautja hunter. And her trajectory is not, a girl amongst men who has to prove herself to them, as much as I kind of like that trope. She is a competent hunter with an interesting backstory. Katol, her name is, quite frankly, she really boosted this novel for me over the edge in terms of enjoying it, because I've always wanted to read about female Yautja, and I really hope the next movie has one. I mean, there is enough damn fan art and cosplay about them that I believe it is overdue, and I think it would be received quite well. Because, of course, they're going to make her sexy. And I may have written a few fanfics myself about female predators, and no, I will not be sharing those with anyone. Don't even ask. The other characters in the book have appropriate depth for an AVP novel. We have a few unlikable mercs, a man named Shrapnel, which I thought was great, a few pitiable drug addicts, a large cast of Yautja, and a new xenomorph variation. Yes, it can fly, as per the back, which is pretty cool, actually. Unlike Alien Inferno's Fall, here it is. This thing. I read a few weeks ago. This expendable cast is perfect for a horror like this. I don't like seeing kids in peril, and there were some in Inferno's Fall. Rather than raise the stakes for me, it stresses me out a bit. But seeing some jerks get what's coming to them is always fun. I'm going to talk a bit more about the Yautja characters in a bit. I am a bit torn about the addicts in the novel and why they were included. I thought the attempt to show what led to their addictions as something we should be sympathetic towards rather than disdainful to was admirable. It definitely wasn't a novel that disparages addicts as weak or bottom feeders or whatever insult other people with no compassion used for them. I don't think we needed them to be addicts to further the plot. They could have just been people desperate for cash. One of them could have been an addict, but having all of them be didn't really add anything to the story. I don't know. It just seemed kind of like I was like, why? But that's fine. Unlike the Lebanon series, the Rage War series, which was definitely kind of save the world universe idea, this book, Rift War, kept us to an isolated incident on a crappy, uninhabited world. And I liked that about it. Marvel can keep all the save the world plots, but give me stories of a small group in a weird situation that has no impact on the universe at large. I absolutely love that. The planet was fun too. It had these gouges in the earth that made the situation unique and contributed to the title of the book. It was kind of fun. Now this leads me to what I really loved about the book. So if you follow my channel, you know that I have a real hard on for xenoanthropology. I love books with very unique and in-depth alien cultures, and this book, while still not entirely fleshing out the Yautja society in terms of how things function, on Yautja Prime when the predators aren't in a hunt, still gave a lot of insight into things we hadn't seen before. Honestly though, I think part of why I'm obsessed with predators is because they don't tell you all of their cultural backstory in the movies and the books. We get it in bits and pieces, sometimes contradictory, like the Hish variation of predators that appear in the Dark Horse versions and have them explained to be a different kind of offset of Yautja. I prefer the Yautja myself due to the AVP Prey and War series from the 90s. I have talked about this series a lot on my channel because I love it and because it's awesome. And not to toot my own horn, but one of the authors, S.D. Perry, gave my novel, Escaping First Content, a lovely review. Guys, I almost died. I almost died when she sent it back. I literally was like, oh my god, I'm dying. Anyway, for the Yautja characters in this novel, we have 3 teacher hunters, another random predator hiding in the wings, and 9 young unblooded undergoing the ritual hunt. There are too many young ones, in my opinion, which made them a bit hard to tell apart, especially since their names are very kind of like alien, and so I'm terrible with names, and that didn't help me at all to know their names. But the main 4 Master Hunter Yautja are very well distinguished from one another, have motivations and actions that make sense. The sections with the Yautja were obviously my favorite parts of the book, and I loved what the limited amount of info we get on them says about the Yautja culture. I could read about them all day. In terms of action, Alex and Navarro managed to put new twists on the Let's Fight Xenomorph scenes, so they were fun, exciting, and well described, and not just because of that new variation of Xenomorph, the one with the wings. I would have liked a few of the fight scenes replaced with more of the Yautja cultural stuff, but I also would read a book where the Yautja were just sitting around talking, so I'm sure if it's AVP action you want, you'll like this book a lot, because there is a great deal of it. Now, I can't just gush, but I will say I did find the story arc with Arwen could have been a bit stronger. I also felt information about him and Catal was deliberately withheld. I think had we known this information earlier, it might have made the arc even more impactful. But that's just me. I also think the Yautja cast could have been smaller, as I said. Overall, though, these are minor complaints. If you like AVP and the movie, you will really enjoy this new addition to the universe. It's a fun, exciting, and addictive read. I really loved it. It's so good. Oh, not this! Where did it go? Here it is. This. Now, one question. How do you become a writer for Predator books? That's honestly like my dream. I would love to write a Predator book. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you've read this or if you plan to read it and what you thought. And yeah. Now, because I can't stop talking about Aliens versus Predator and all of the related stuff having to do with that. So this topic is one of those that people said, what could you talk about for half an hour, without any prompting? And for me, it's AVP and Alien and Predator. So here are my rankings of all the movies. This is just going to be fun. Obviously, I know people aren't going to agree with me 100%, and that's fine. I just want to say that this ranking is based on my personal feelings about the movies, including nostalgia, including what I particularly enjoy about the movies from my taste. I definitely think Alien and Predator Prey are better films in terms of tone, purpose, cinematography, etc. than the rest of the books, despite their slightly lower ranking than 2 others in my list. So I'm just going to get that out of there. So, of course, given this review, you have to guess that my favorite movie is Alien vs. Predator. I love the pair-up of humans and Predator. I love it. I love when that happens in books. I love that when it happens in movies, not just, Alien vs. Predator movies, any movies. Do I ship Lex and Scar? Of course I do, guys. Of course I do. I also love the idea of the history behind Alien vs. Predator. The battle scenes are pretty fun. I liked Lex despite her kind of wooden acting at times. I watched this movie a lot. I actually just watched it the other day on Saturday. My husband was out with his friends and I was like, guess I'm going to watch Alien vs. Predator again. The second one on my list is Predators. Same as before, I really love the concept. I like how it introduced different factions or offshoots within the Predators. And I like the idea that the Predators hunt human predators. That was a really fun dynamic to have everyone in all the human cast kind of be assholes. I also like Adrian Brody when he's ripped. I'm assuming the classic predator in this one is Yautja and the other is Hish, though I could be wrong, but I liked that kind of mesh between the two kind of cultures or offshoots of predators as well. I thought that was fun. The third one is obviously Alien, of course. As I said, I think Alien is a wonderful film. It is very near to my heart. I tried to convince my husband to call our daughter Ellen after Ripley, but no dice. It's an iconic movie and was a game changer in cinema. I love it. It's fantastic. I just watched it back in August, and it's still just like, it holds up so well, both in terms of tension and the story's interesting and the characters are so good. Predator Prey. The only thing I didn't like about this movie, or I mean, I did not even like it. I just wasn't super keen on the fact that how they changed the look of the Predator. It was too kind of like snake-like, too reptilian, in fact. If you want to know why I loved it, not just because of that adorable dog, I've included a link to my review on Post-Apocalyptic Media, where I'm a writer and a reviewer, so you can check it out there if you want. The next one is Aliens, which was a staple of my childhood. I'm pretty sure we watched Aliens more than Alien, because as kids, I mean like 10 or 11-year-olds, we found Alien a little slow, but you know, there was Newt to identify with in Aliens. And of course, I loved Vasquez. I wanted to be Vasquez when I was a child. I want the new book so bad, but it's a hardcover. I'm not rich. I'll probably cave, of course, and get it. But, you know, Titan, if you happen to be watching this, you can send me an ARC. I'll take an e-ARC. I don't care. Reach out to me. My contact information is below. The next is Predator, another classic of my later teens. I didn't watch this one so much as a kid, but I love it. It, like Alien, it was so new in concept when it came out. And there are so many great lines, too, of course. You know, get to the chopper. Alien Resurrection is next. I love this stupid-ass movie. It's dumber than the other ones on here, but it's got a weird factor that I enjoy, and the swimming xenos freaked me out when I was a kid. I love the Winona Ryder harkening back to Ash from Alien kind of aspect. Ron Perlman is a gem in this movie. And we have disability rep, which was pretty cool. And the part where the alien clone baby thing gets ripped out of the ship at the end is pretty awesome and pretty gory. It's a very memorable scene. I think that Alien Resurrection doesn't get enough credit. Prometheus. I'm not very fond of the black goo trajectory of Alien that started with this movie. I like the world seeding idea, but the movie was a bit too complicated and felt like it should have been longer, maybe even 2 movies. I did love a lot about the movie, though. I mean, Idris Elba, how do you not love him? And Charlize's characters were fun. The xenomorph removal in the medical bed was an intense scene, and I loved the exploring the ruins part of it. The movie just got a bit too Hollywood for me, I think. It kind of lost that kind of grittiness that the movies, even Alien Resurrection, have. So yeah. Next on the list we have Predator 2. This movie's just fun. It's not a favorite of mine. I like it though. It has some cool scenes. The subway scene, you know, Danny Glover fighting the Predator. I'm still kind of like, I don't know, man, but whatever. Covenant. Again, just like Prometheus, it was too Hollywood again. The aliens were running all over the place instead of stalking in the shadows. The lack of new world exploration protocols with the scientists made absolutely no sense to me. And the flute scene, which I made fun of when I did Inferno's Fall, it's like, make out or not, boys. You know, make up your mind. Like, come on. Now comes The Predator. I rank this higher than the other 2 on the list because of 2 things. 1, when the classic Predator breaks out of the facility, that scene is awesome. That scene is really cool. 2, the Predator dog things, they're so cute. Everything else, the movie tried just so hard to bring in classic Predator vibes, but it was so obvious about it that it failed in that attempt. It was just, there were just so many things about the movie that was just like, I don't know, it tried and it just didn't work, I think. It just didn't work for me. I saw it in the theater. Have I watched it since? I don't think I have. I mean, I'd rewatch it. And maybe I won't, like, think it as... I mean, I enjoyed it when I saw it in the theater. But, I mean, every time I go to the theater, I enjoy a movie way more than watching it at home. So, that's also a thing. AVP Requiem is next. Ugh. I have an idea. Let's make a movie where the main climax takes place in the dark and in the rain so you can't see anything. And then add a bunch of annoying teenagers. I have deep frustration with Requiem. I have deep frustration with it, and I don't like it. Could you tell? Lastly, we have Alien 3. Honestly, I'm ranking it low because the last time I watched it, I was like 22, and that's a long time ago for me. It's a bit slow and kind of depressing. I don't know. I'm ambivalent to it. I actually dislike AVP Requiem more, but the problem is I haven't watched Alien 3 enough to say whether, I dislike it more or not. So it can just exist, and that's fine. I don't hate it. I just am like, I don't know, Alien 3, whatever. Every series has its kind of dull one, and I think Alien 3, I don't know, maybe I should rewatch it. Should I rewatch Alien 3? Tell me in the comments. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy this, and expect another Alien Predator book perhaps in October, or perhaps I'm going to be reading Vasquez. We will see. Thanks.